this is how it all started.
This is boring. Boring, boring, boring. Why documentaries?
Yay! I can't wait to get started on the documentaries! Yay! I'm gonna be with Pooja!
I wonder what I'm gonna have for lunch. Maybe it's pizza or subs.
Then later, we started to get the hang of things.
The Mental Awareness Hot Docs project really evolved collaboratively with the kids. The kids did the researching, the planning, the filming, the editing. My job was to let go of control. It was chaotic at times, but in the end, the kids learned so much. And what I'm really proud of is that they gained independence and they learned so many valuable skills.
We filmed in many locations around the school. This sometimes worried our teachers because they didn't always have control over us. Often a scene would take many takes to get just right.
How does it feel to have Tourette's, Gabriel Oldenhoff?
It's really hard because it's hard to make friends. You're not supposed to.
So, Gabriel, how does it feel to have Tourette's?
Well, it's hard because from a friend perspective, I don't have it.
From a friend perspective, Tourette's, how does it affect your friendships?
Well, before I had behavioral treatment, I didn't have any friends. Sadly, yes. But now, everyone accepts me and thinks I'm a super cool dude.
We used some new green screens to help us in our documentary. Here are two of our amazing documentaries.
Wikipedia says that gender dysphoria or gender identity disorder is the dysphoria a person experiences as a result of the sex and gender they were assigned at birth. In these cases, the assigned sex and gender do not match the person's gender identity and the person is transgender.
To put it simply, one who suffers gender dysphoria experiences distress to the sex and gender they are. So if a male experiences distress because they strongly feel that they should be another sex, they could be suffering gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria or transgender is not a choice. You can't simply just want to be another sex. It's a little different. Although we don't know how one gets gender dysphoria in the first place, there are a few theories saying that it could be from a mix of hormones within the mother's womb, genes, or from social and environmental factors.
In children who have gender dysphoria, they may include believing that they will grow up to be the opposite sex, they are disgusted by their own genitals, they are rejected by their peers or feel alone, they say that they want to be the opposite sex, they start dressing like the opposite sex, and they have depression or anxiety.
In adults who still suffer from gender dysphoria, they may include dressing like the opposite sex, wishing to get rid of their own genitals, wanting to live as a person of the opposite sex, feeling alone, or have depression and anxiety.
Both adults and children will likely want to or already dress like the opposite sex, and many of them avoid social interaction.
To be officially diagnosed with gender dysphoria, you must be suffering from it for at least 2 years. If a child still experiences gender dysphoria after puberty, they're most likely to have gender dysphoria for the rest of their life.
You can't cure gender dysphoria, but you can cure the depression and anxiety that comes with it.
The best way to help a person who is suffering gender dysphoria is to support them in school, public, and at home. Because many people who had gender dysphoria had suicide thoughts, and some have already committed suicide.
No matter what, these people are going through tough times, and they shouldn't be looked down upon. Many even wish that they weren't transgender. Gender dysphoria was formerly known as gender identity disorder, or GID. Gender dysphoria is still on the mental disorders list.
Dysphoria is signs of distress, which does have an impact on the brain, but people who are transgender or have gender dysphoria can function normally. They can move, speak, and think like any other human.
One article on Pacific Standard by Alice Dreger says that even while being labeled as mentally disordered can be a stigmatizing experience. It is also the case that the inclusion of GID in the DSM has functioned to provide financial and institutional support for medical, surgical, and physiological care for some transgender people.
Although Alice also said, at least in this country, categorizing transgender people as mentally disordered leaves them in sort of never land little safely.
Mentioning gender dysphoria in the DSM is causing more harm than good. Once people know, they'll treat these people as diseased and not just different.
If taking gender dysphoria off the list of DSM means taking away the care they need, then what else can we do? Alice suggests the idea of putting it in the category for anxiety and depression, because anxiety and depression can be included with gender dysphoria. It won't be called a mental disorder anymore, but they will still get their special care. Since gender dysphoria is on the mental disorders list, they have access to all they need. For example, there is sex reassignment surgery.
SRS is a surgery performed on transgender people to alter their physical appearance and sexual characteristics to the gender they identify with.
With this surgery, trans people feel more into the gender they identify as, although there still may be confusion with their identity even after the surgery.
Jazz Jennings is a transgender teen who is an LGBT activist and YouTuber.
When she was born, she was assigned as a male. Jazz was diagnosed with gender dysphoria as a child. She wants to speak up to everyone that she wants to be identified as a female.
Jazz has started appearing on television ever since she was 6 to talk about her life challenges for being transgender. She came out as a transgender at age 5.
In an interview, she said, "I felt like I was trapped in the wrong body." Jazz has co-written her own book, earned awards, and is even getting a doll modeled after her.
Jazz talked about her coming out to her friends in an interview about her book. She claimed that most of her friends accepted her and stayed as her friend no matter what, although some friends couldn't accept it and called her names.
"If they can't accept me for who I am, I won't care about them until they change. I give people more opportunity," she had said.
Luckily for Jazz, her parents were supportive of their daughter. They accepted it and still loved her.
Jazz uses her YouTube platform to spread her message to other trans kids.
And she takes her time to educate those around her.
Our world is too into gender roles and gender stereotypes.
If we didn't have these gender roles, wouldn't we all have less confusion about ourselves?
How can we all identify as just human? And will society ever come to understand?
They'll think about giving me some of that. He's walking around your car. Hi, my name's Ellen, and this is Ariana's story. We finally did an MRI and an EEG, which proved that she had Lissencephaly 1. It affects 1 out of every 100,000 children. At the time of diagnosis, we were told Ariana wouldn't pass 6 months, both physically and mentally. Basically, Lissencephaly means smooth brain. So our brain would have many folds. Ariana's a little smoother. It's connected with chromosome number 17. It's a seizure disorder, so she does suffer seizures daily.
She puts her hands straight out like this, her feet go straight out. She flexes all the muscles in her body, and her pupils dilate.
The most thing with the seizures is you just gotta make sure she's not hurting herself. She's not biting her tongue. She's not, didn't bang her head against the wall or anything like that, especially if she's bump scooting around. You've got to make sure she's breathing. We do have a medication called Advent, which is like, you just rub it on it's like nitroglycerin for people who have heart attacks. You just rub it in her cheek and it's supposed to stop the seizure. But again, right after that, you're supposed to call 911 just to get her vital signs checked out.
So what's it like living and growing up with a sister who has lissencephaly?
It's hard sometimes, but I mean, 25% of the people I know, I probably wouldn't know.
But Ariana now is 9 years old, and I estimate she's roughly around 1.5, 2 mentally. She's done a lot of things that the doctor said she wouldn't be able to do.
My name is Mr. Story. I'm a teacher, and I work in the multiple exceptionalities classroom at Whitchurch Highlands Public School. With Ariana, what we like to do is we have a literacy block, we have a math block, and then we have a sensory and mobility block. So what we like to do is we have a lot of tactile games in math where she's moving a lot of manipulatives. She likes to use the balls a lot. And she also has, we call them switches, buttons that she presses to count or to speak. She reads books where she touches her switch and she flips the pages. We have a lot of interactive games on the smartboard. And then you've seen her on her bike and her walker up and down the hall, which is what we like to do after.
But just keeping her in good health, and she's happy and she plays a lot. And so other than that, she's learning things all the time, and we're really pleased with the progress she's taking.
Her life expectancy is most likely shorter than normal people, but I mean, she's doing pretty much okay and good right now, so I don't think that's really a big deal for us right now.
So how do you take care of her?
We take care of her by basically letting her have the freedom to move around as much as possible. Again, keeping her happy, healthy, giving her meds. You gotta keep a close eye on her because she can have seizures. So yeah, other than that, it's like taking care of a normal baby.
Look, it's a ball. Throw it to her. Oh. Ball?
We couldn't have done it without our awesome teacher, Miss Foran, who teaches us drama and got this all started, and our homeroom teacher, Miss Rufft.